Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay Real, and we have a lot of sports to cover. It's been a week, and man, has it been a sports-filled week. Now, we're going to start in the NBA. Last night, the Heat got just pimp-slapped around by the Spurs, losing to them 111-87, and they held LeBron James to just 19 points. Now, LeBron James did have a problem with the short sleeve jerseys, saying that they were tugging and pulling on his shooting arm. So it'll be fun to see if he's going to ever wear those jerseys again. But the problem with the game is, if you watched it, it didn't seem like the Heat were even really involved in the game. Their passes were slow and sluggish. They were the Spurs can anticipate their passes, and just it didn't seem like they were interested in this game at all. It's almost like it's the Spurs, and the Heat know in a 7-game series in the playoffs, they're going to beat the Spurs. Now, that's just my take on it. Leave us comments and feedback. Let us know what you think. But as for the game, the Spurs really did put a clinic on the Heat. Now, going on to the other coast, the Clippers put it on the Lakers. The Lakers' worst defeat ever, and it came to their in-town rivals, the LA Clippers. The Clippers are looking great. Doc Rivers has that team just polished and just on fire. And it says something really good towards the coach. I mean, this team was struggling over the last few years, had a lot of good talent, but just couldn't seem to rise above. This year, so far, I'm still waiting to see what they do in the playoffs. But Doc Rivers has this team looking like they could push the Heat if they ever have to meet up. So, be interesting to see, but those were two big games that just came up. And again, the Lakers are just looking horrible. Their starting lineup looked like a varsity team in high school. You didn't even know 99% of the players. And it's pretty sad to see, but at the same time, they have to go through their traumas and tribulations and hard times, just like every other team has, where you just can't be good every single year, every single decade, which the LA Lakers have been able to do for the last 30, 40 years. So don't feel sorry for the Lakers, folks. They are going to go through their bumps right now. 3-4 years, I could see them just being horrible until they start turning things around. So, with that said, the NBA is wide open. I mean, the Heat is still, in our eyes, the team to beat. But OKC is just firing on all cylinders. And again, just to reiterate what I said a couple weeks ago, all the LeBron jock sniffers need to just open their eyes, stop being blinded because it's LeBron James, and see what in the world is going on over in OKC. Durant is playing ridiculous basketball. And I'm not even going to say anything else besides that. Anyone that truly knows basketball can look at these last few games, given side that LeBron had a 61-point game earlier in the week. That's fine, just that one game. But the rest, go back months. Durant has been doing it consistently, day-to-day basis, week-to-week, month-to-month. There's no doubt in my mind, and unless they just totally hose Durant, he should be the MVP this season. That's our prediction. That's our take on that in the NBA. Now we're going to transition real quick over, because, my God, folks, how on earth can Tiger Woods open up his first round with a 76? I mean, it's the highest score out of all of the guys, you're going to tell me that Tiger Woods has dropped and fallen so far from grace, has fallen so far from his ability to compete and play the game of golf, that he is the worst golfer out of every other tournament combatant that's playing at this Durant tournament? It just doesn't make any. I'm sorry, Durrell. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Kevin Durant. The Durrell tournament. How in the world could he be last? The worst score opening round. We talked about this about 3 months ago. How it's just mind-boggling that the man is the best golfer on earth. And if I'm not mistaken, he's still ranked number 1 right now. If I could be mistaken. If I am, please give comments and feedback. Let me know what the listing is. I haven't researched that recently, but if I'm not mistaken, Tiger Woods is still ranked number 1 right now. He did have 8 wins last year, which was better than anyone else. But how in the world can you go into any game, any tournament, any golf course on the planet and be the highest score, the worst golfer out of everybody? It just doesn't make sense to me, folks. And I'm not saying, because I do like golf. I'm not even good golf. I mean, I'm not even handicapped. I'm just go out there, grab a bag of beers, a box of beers, some cigars, and just go hit the ball and just have some fun. That's my golfing. But my gosh, Tiger Woods, a 76. I mean, I don't know. Everyone says that he's done, that he's never going to win another major. And I'll tell you, with these scores, I would agree. With these scores, how could he win another tournament, much less another major? I believe he has 5 majors to go, and 76, folks. That's pretty bad. Again, I'm talking about Tiger Woods, the best golfer on the planet. This isn't, some Joe Schmo that, has hit a few good rounds of golf in his day and then goes into a big tournament and just lays an egg. This is the best golfer on earth, and he shoots a 76 opening round. So now they did say that the course at Doral, I believe it's Doral, or it could be Doral, whichever way it's pronounced, they changed the course up to where it doesn't even look familiar to a lot of these golfers that have played the course before. That could have something to do with it, but still, he's the worst scorer out of all the other golfers. Tiger Woods. Doesn't make any sense. So, again, comments and feedback. We know he's going through a lot of emotional, has his mind got back into the game since, the big public affair that happened and his life turned into shambles or whatever. But my gosh, he's fallen very far. That's one thing I have to say. Now, moving on to NFL. I broke down a lot about NFL and some of my feelings on it last week. But here are some better things about the NFL and things to look forward to in this season, which give men like me and fans, NFL fans, hopefully like me, that are going through some dark times right now with the NFL, hope, a glimmer of hope. And that is the, excuse me, that last year, the Super Bowl, Russell Wilson went in there, the underdog, the rookie, pretty much, and was going against the giant. He had Peyton Manning. Just an amazing feat that he had to accomplish, and he did it. Not only did he do it on the field, but last year's numbers are just in, and Russell Wilson was the #1 jersey sales of 2013, and in a close second, that's right, Peyton Manning, second jersey sales. So again, Russell Wilson comes in #1, Peyton Manning #2. And just for a lighter news on that, Colin Kaepernick was 3rd in 2013 jersey sales. Now, moving on from that, Adrian Peterson is going on a all-out campaign to have Michael Vick signed with the Vikings for 2014. Michael Vick's going to be a free agent, and Adrian Peterson has came out publicly just promoting that if Michael Vick is on the 2014 Vikings, they are an automatic playoff team. Now, these guys are buddies, they're friends, and you hate to see someone someone trying to bring in another quarterback when you have a warrior that you've been battling out in the trenches with for the last few years. But Ponder obviously isn't the guy that Adrian Peterson feels can push them over the hump, so he is all out campaigning for Michael Vick to be on the 2014 Vikings. And I have to say, that'd be interesting to see. It would be very interesting to see, because Vikings have a lot of weapons, and I'm just surprised that they haven't been deep into the playoffs over the last few years. And it seems like it might be the quarterback issue. So if Michael Vick can stay healthy, my gosh, he hasn't played a full season since, I believe, like in the mid-2000s. Come on, Vick. Jeez, get healthy, play. My gosh. And then finally going to our team, at least Average Joe sports team, the Pittsburgh Steelers re-sign Troy Polamalu and Heath Miller to a 3-year extension, but they modified the contract. The guys said, you know what, we want to retire, we want to be Steelers till we end our careers. Give them kudos for that. That's our boys, that's our team. They took less money to restructure a deal for 3 years to easen up the Steelers' cap space. They needed some room, and Polamalu was looking at a little over $8 million next year, so he had to restructure. Same thing for Heath Miller, who was injured a lot of last season, and Polamalu, who missed half the season 2012. Did play all season last year. He kind of bounced back last year, but to get 3 more years out of him, be interesting to see. We're excited. You know, we hope he bounces back. He's injury-free right now, so time will tell. But they restructured their deals, helping the Steelers get room for the cap, and that's the kind of team we like to see, the kind of players we like to see on our team. And we did have some losses, though. Linebacker Larry Footy was released, was cut. You know, Footy's been just an amazing linebacker for us, but obviously they felt that they needed to go in different directions. And then also cornerback Curtis Brown and offensive tackle Levi Brown were also cut from the team. We're part of our Steelers. We hope they get picked up by somebody and that they can be very successful in the future with whoever they get picked up by. But we have a lot of room, and it seems like they're making room for the cap. Steelers, get the players we need. Get Big Ben some offense, of line help. Keep him on his feet. Get us some receivers, some running. I mean, just whatever we need. We need a lot. Make it happen. We'd like to see the Steelers break an 8-8 season, which was what the rut we've been in for the last couple of years. So with that said, we got to move on real quick. Excuse me. Manziel just recently signed with Nike, and come on, folks. Did you have any doubt? You knew Nike was going to be, it wasn't going to be Puma or Adidas or Reebok. Nike was going to throw the biggest contract, the biggest sack of money, pow, right in his face. And if any of you have already followed Manziel, you know money talks with this guy. And they threw it down in front of him, and he signed. Nike gets Manziel as their athlete. And he's going to sell tons of stuff for Nike. He's going to sell tons of stuff, no doubt about it. He's going to make them millions and millions and millions. So good job to Manziel. It'll still be interesting to see where he goes in the draft. It seems like everyone wants to push him further and further back in the draft. But I'll tell you this right now. If it isn't the 1 or 2 teams that need a good quarterback at the 1 and 2 pick, I believe, I know it's a 1 pick with the Texans because they need a quarterback. But if it's not with a team that has some talent to put around that rookie, forget it, Manziel. You want to go back. You want to get pushed back in the later round of the first, that first round, because you want to get a team that's not going to just eat you up and spit you out in a season or two and leave you high and dry and out of the league in just a few short years. So, again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. And then in some lighter news, or non-NFL, NFL news, Aaron Hernandez is in trouble again. There at the Bristol House of Corrections, this guy, February 25th, 2014, he gets in a brawl with a fellow inmate. Boom. Cold clocks the guy, and boom, what does he get? Battery charges. And from what it seems like, from reports saying that the sheriff there is going to seek charges. So the guy's already facing murder charges of who knows how many people, and oh my gosh, this poor guy. I don't want to say poor guy, but this guy just can't get out of his own way when it comes to being in trouble. Now again, we don't know all the circumstances to that 25th altercation, but from all reports it seems like he was the aggressor, he was the instigator. But again, we weren't there, we don't know, we just got to go with what reports are saying. Now finally, we're just going to wrap up the weekend, let you all get out of here. Again, one more point to go to what I was talking about last week, and I don't even know how I forgot about this one. But the NFL officials and league upper echelon guys are still in meetings and still in debates about whether or not to get rid of the extra point. Now, I know a lot of people can say, and this is the reason why they've even discussed the issue or even thought about the issue, is that the extra point is so boring, it just takes up time. But folks, that's football. It's been like that for over 50 years. Now, people keep saying, well, you got to evolve, you got to do, but some things don't, when they're not broken, don't fix them. The extra point is just as much as football as running in a two-point conversion, as it is a sneak play, quarterback sneak. These things are part of football. It's a part of what you've been watching since you've been watching football. Unless you're, over 100-something years old, who knows? But do I think they could make it a little bit better? Sure. They're also talking about possibly moving it back to the 20 or 28-yard line, which would make it a 30 or 43-yard attempt, which would make things a little more exciting. Okay, well, the problem with that is then you got to up the points too. Think about it. It can't just be an extra point if you're going to have them kicking a 40-yarder. A 40-yarder. That also gives more time because the kicker and the snapper have to be in such rhythm to kick that 40-some yard field goal. It also gives the defense more time to react and block field goals. So I guess basically what I'm trying to say, folks, is I personally feel they cannot take out the extra point. They just can't do it. If you want to back it up, better that than just get rid of it. That makes more sense. But at the same time, you've got to allocate more points. So why don't you, okay, they need room to make things more exciting. Okay, make it the team's choice. Okay? It's an automatic 10-yard from where it used to be. It's an automatic 10 yards. They just backed it up 10 yards. Then from there, you can go another 10 yards for 2 points, or you can go to the very extreme of 30 yards and get 3 points for that 45-yard attempt. Wouldn't that be interesting? I think so. So you got teams that go just line it up on the normal now, 10 yard behind the normal line. So it's still a normal 1-pointer, and it's kicked. Everyone gets a 1. Or a team can go, you know what? We want to take a chance. We want to go back to the very far line and get that 3 points. Or we want to go up to the next line and get that 2 points. There's options there. Anyway, tell me what you think. Am I being a little crazy? Am I being a little bit unrealistic? I don't know, but again, just more reasons that NFL is frustrating me, trying to change things that weren't broken. It takes 10 seconds to kick a field goal. And guess what? There were field goals missed last year. It's one thing to say if it's 100% through the 2013 season, but it's not. It was not 100%. Now, a lot of them were made, but there were some missed. And that's where the game could be changed right there. So, anyway, that is our show. We appreciate you tuning in. I do got to thank the Player Zone. Give us all this cool stuff to promote for you all. Again, they have gaming from Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! They have sports cards, comic books, Golden Age, all the way up to Modern Age. Can't say enough about them. If you're interested in getting in any gaming or comic books, you can contact the Player Zone at 575-257-0559. Or if you're in the Ruidoso, New Mexico area and you just want to stop in and check them out, they're at 2117 Sudreth in the Gazebo Plaza, number 15. Just come on in and say, hey, we used to, we watch you on the show and we just want to come in and check it out. They'd be happy to help you or just say hi. Now, with that said, we also got to thank Freestyle Productions and Freestyle Jewelry. Again, all your gold needs has the look, feel, and last lifetimes, but without the real gold prices. This is called Gold Field. It's a new method of how they create gold. It's pretty cool. It's really cool, and it's really long-lasting and just beautiful stuff. Again, you can contact them. through the Player Zone as well. And then Freestyle Productions, they do all of our video stuff. They do promotions for all kinds of businesses in the area, and folks that want to get a wedding, birthday, bar mitzvah, and or a quinceañera together. They'll film it, put it on DVD for a long-lasting memory of that event at a very low cost to you. And then we also got to thank Gonzo Jerseys. This guy can hook you up with any fly jerseys you want. Mention that you saw and heard about him here on the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, and they'll give you a discount for that. So with that in mind, folks, that's it. We appreciate you tuning in to this week's show. We will see you on next Friday. But until then, peace. Much love. We'll see you next week.